Elvis Presley song that John Lennon hated. John Lennon was a big fan of Elvis Presley. Throughout Presley's active years as a musician, he managed to break and create several records that made him outshine other singers. However, Lennon became one of the few people who hated his music. In 1971, he admitted that he had a bunch of Elvis Presley's old singles and was going to create a jukebox with just Elvis records on it. He praised Elvis for inspiring the Beatles' music, but he had a strange way of showing his admiration. It all started in April 1956 when Lennon heard Presley's Heartbreak Hotel for the first time, shortly after its release in the UK in March. Heartbreak Hotel seemed to change everything, not just for John Lennon, but also for rock and roll history. The song had a huge impact on many young British male teenagers. Some would become the next generation of rock stars. Both Paul McCartney and George Harrison have stated how Heartbreak Hotel was a big influence on them, but it was John Lennon who was so greatly impacted by the song and its singer, Elvis Presley, that he decided to start his very own band. It's no secret that John Lennon was a huge fan of Elvis Presley when he was a teenager. Lennon formed his first band, the Quarrymen, which would later become the Beatles, as a result of his love for Elvis Presley and rock and roll. Over the years Lennon spoke extremely fondly of Elvis. He even once famously said, "Nothing affected me until I heard Elvis. Without Elvis, there would be no Beatles." He idolized the singer growing up, but Lennon was candid about his disdain for the new song. In 1963, Lennon appeared on the BBC TV show Jukebox Jury after leaving the Beatles. At that time, he was asked to judge the latest singles in the music industry. He had also been a fan of Presley not until he released his awful song, You're the Devil in Disguise. While fans liked it so much, Lennon said he was not a fan of the single, and his reaction surprised everyone since he was a well-known supporter of the king of rock and roll. He explained, "Well, you know, I used to go mad on Elvis, like all the groups, but not now. I don't like this. I hate songs with walk and talk in it, you know, those lyrics. She walks, she talks. I don't like that. I don't like the double beat, it's awful." Despite being a foundation of his childhood, Lennon seemed to have grown out of Presley's shadow, explaining, "Well, I've got all his early records, and I keep playing them. He must not make another like this. But somebody said today he sounds like Bing Crosby now, and he does. I don't like him anymore." John disliked You're the Devil in Disguise, particularly the lyrics about a woman who walks and talks like an angel. John's comments didn't stop You're the Devil in Disguise from becoming a #1 hit and one of Presley's most well-known songs. John would later write Just Like Starting Over as a tribute to Presley. But aside from Lennon, his co-member George Harrison also was not a fan of Elvis's song, Kiss Me Quick.